and listen to the Unity song with David Friedman with me.
Every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me, there's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way, all loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are
Thank you, David. And now I will light the Christ candle, which is a symbol of the Christ in our service today and the indwelling Christ that resides within us. Our daily word today is titled Beautiful. And will you affirm with me, beautiful? The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. Sunday, September the 28th. When I am fully present to life, I find beauty everywhere. Looking up at shimmering stars, walking through a field of marigolds, or sitting by the ocean, I rejoice in the beauty of nature. It truly is a wonderful world. The beauty that delights my senses also lives in me. The presence of God does not just surround me. It is within me also. My divine gifts, along with my talents and unique abilities, make me a beautiful and integral part of the world. When I live into the fullness of my divinity, the expression of my humanity is simply beautiful. I am a radiant spiritual being, an individuation of the divine. I honor the presence of God within myself and all others. We are beautiful. One thing I ask of the Lord that I will seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord. Psalms 27:4. And again, if you affirm with me, beautiful. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. And if you will join me in affirming our Unity Foundation principle. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. And our Unity of Billings affirmation, crafted by our Unity chaplain, Charlene Inglis, who is in the house today. Yay! Through divine wisdom and grace, Unity of Billings is vibrant, healing, and inclusive. And if you'll take a moment, take your prayers and your tithes into your hands, infuse them with your love and your energy, your light. And join with me in praying. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. So, Brian, I understand you're going to do your music now? Excellent. Just read my message. Thank you. Brian Lottman.
This is your chance to sing together. This is an Aramaic mantra. It comes from the time of Jesus Christ. And the words are Ruka Dekucha. Ruka Dekucha, which means Holy Spirit. So it's an invocation of the Holy Spirit. And we'll sing it together. Some of you are great singers, I've heard. So sing with me as you get it. Ruka de Kucha, 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 Ruka de Kucha. Take in 5 deep breaths, in and out through the nose, slowly breathing in the light of the Holy Spirit. And we relax. And sense the presence here in the room. Diving deeper and deeper into meditation. Visualizing the Holy Spirit as the white dove descending upon the sanctuary. She is the Divine Mother, the infinite intelligence of the universe. She is the white dove glowing above us. Hovering. Shining her light upon our gathering. Filling the space with her light. Creating right here and now a heavenly realm. Where the archangels descend upon us. In the 4 corners of the room. And Jesus Christ himself walking into the space with radiant white robes. his heart all fire. Filling the space with immense love. So this would be considered a sort of holy encounter where you can have a direct experience of the divine, awakening that power within you. That's the mystical path. It's not necessarily just talking about God, but it's activating that understanding and knowing and being, that it becomes alive within you. Real. So powerful that you walk around feeling so much bliss and love you can barely stand. We'll have to take you out of here with a stretcher. You won't mind. You won't care. That's how strong it is. They say that Jesus often walked around like appearing intoxicated. I'm sure that that's true. You know, to handle that much light within one physical body, who can do that? No wonder his body only lasted 33 years or whatever. Physical body can't hold that much light. So then he kind of converted into a light body and supposedly then traveled all around the planet, kind of appeared in different cultures. That's why you see Jesus's teachings and his appearance in many, many different countries, because he traveled after he took on that light body. Very interesting. Much easier than physical body that has kind of limitations. So I'd like a light body myself. It'd be fun. So how do you kind of get to that point? So there's considered two different kinds of beings. One are descending beings and one are ascending beings. Descending beings are beings that never had any karma. They're pure rays of light from the divine that come down into a human body, and they're considered as kind of like messiahs or avatars. They don't need to work on themselves to improve, to clear their karma, to get to enlightenment. They didn't do that. They're not doing that. They're coming down simply to reach out a helping hand. To take my hand, and I will help you cross the ocean of your own mind. It seems to be suffering lifetime after lifetime. Those are the descending beings. Swami Purna would be considered as one of those. That's why I lit a candle for him and got roses as well. So he blesses our space and the gathering here, which makes this gathering extra special, rather extraordinary. To have a descending being, never had issues to work out. What a blessing. Rare to find that on this planet. They don't come around at every corner. I wish they did. You know, this world needs saving from itself, you know. So then there are ascending beings. You can imagine, we're trying to ascend. We need help to transform ourselves from darkness to light. That's what the word guru means, from darkness to light. How do you transform your consciousness? Generally, it takes multiple lifetimes to transmute our consciousness from sort of individual experience, individual entity to infinity. The whole process of like feeling oneself as one or separate from God to knowing God, becoming the all. That's an ascending being. So we ascending beings, we need to work hard on our spiritual path. You know why? Because our mind is a slippery little monkey. Isn't that true? If you leave your mind alone for just like 5 minutes, it's gone to Timbuktu. It will think what it wants to think. That's a very dangerous thing to do. Allow your mind to think what it wants to think. Because it will go right down into, like water flows downwards. Mind goes down into the gutter and, feels all kinds of judgments and issues and worries and problems. The whole world becomes a problem. I call that problem consciousness. So my teacher's name is Swami Purna. Purna in Sanskrit means perfection consciousness. What does that mean? It means you don't see any problems. Everything is God, no exception. All the so-called problems in the world. When an enlightened being would say, what's the problem? What's the issue? Humans are so worried. Enlightened being sees God illuminating everything, everywhere, no exception. That is hard to comprehend. I have a feeling like these minds are kind of made to judge things. And then in the Bible, like it gives sort of the biggest, most difficult teaching, which is judge ye not, lest ye be judged. I mean, who does that? Jesus' teachings were way ahead of time. In fact, I think they're very radical even now. Very radical. Very, very few people follow his teachings. It's difficult. So we have to work on ourselves day by day. And maybe we'll come to Sunday service, to church, to unity, to get a little bit of inspiration. But why just Sunday service? Why not have what I call church every day? We should have a unity service every day. And I'm going to mention something else. This is kind of a joke, but everyone sit in the front row. You notice everyone's sitting in the back? You notice that? We have a tendency, it's too scary to be in the front row. I don't want to sit in the back. I get it. It's awkward, It's vulnerable. Let's sit in the front. Make it opposite day. Everything you do, you do something opposite. Break through the ego that wants to be comfortable. I often call that zone the Goldilocks zone. Have you ever read Goldilocks story? Mm-hmm. So you all know what Goldilocks zone is, right? She goes into the house of the bears and she goes and tries the porridge, and one porridge is too cold and one porridge is too hot and one bowl is just right. We're always looking for that just right zone, aren't we? That's the Goldilocks zone. So how can we be unlimited being? Be in communion with God when we're always searching for Goldilocks zone. It's impossible. We have to get out of our comfort zone. Sit in the front seats. Is that a good start? Little things. I kind of joke about this. Instead of people right-handed brush their teeth with their right hand, they use their left hand. They're like thinking, oh my gosh, brush your hand with your left hand. That's too much. But do the opposite of what the ego wants. I just remember the story, the beginning, when Jesus started gathering the disciples. They renounced everything when they saw him. He said, come follow me and I will make you fishers of men. Anyone remember that quote at all? So they dropped everything. That was their comfort zone. Fishing was their livelihood. To drop that and follow the Messiah? No, that's That's a big deal. So similarly, 13 years ago, when I came across the Master, sat at his feet, received his blessing, and we had a 3-minute conversation. And he said to me, now, Brian, it's time for you to renounce everything and set off on the road and start sharing spiritual gatherings. And so I left everything and have been traveling ever since. And can you guess who were the first supporters of my, you could call it mission? Just take a wild guess.
Unity?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Of course, Unity, very open-minded. Other churches, no, it's too radical. We don't want, Jesus's teachings are so radical. Oneness. You too are the Christ. Wow, I don't know what to say about that. So, thank God that unity was established. Otherwise, I'd be out of business. Out of business. That was a joke. I don't even have a home. So I got into Billings. I didn't have a place to stay, and I held a gathering at a place called Barjon's Books. Anyone know Barjon's? Does anyone know Sue? Who runs it? Yeah, you know Sue? Sue, so we only had Sue and 2 other people attend that gathering yesterday. I was a little bit disappointed. I thought all Billings would be coming to the gathering there. She did such a good job sending out the word. And so at the end, I made an announcement and letting people know I don't have a home. If anyone knows anyone who I could stay with. And no one was interested in that. So guess what Sue did? She said, I'm going to get you a hotel for the next 2 days while you're in Billings. She doesn't have a lot. She runs a metaphysical bookstore. It's very niche. She said, Brian, let me pay for your hotel. So now I have a comfortable hotel. I could be in a campground and shivering during the night. She was very sweet, And so I tend to meet those people in towns that are just so lovely, so generous and kind. That's, I don't know if you remember the teachings of Jesus, how he would say, those who have no food, when you feed them, you feed me. Those who have no shelter, when you shelter them, you shelter me. Anyone heard those? That's so true. Treat your neighbor like yourself. It's a oneness principle. Because the truth is, what Jesus was really teaching is simply the I am. Your neighbor is you. There are no others. So every time you generously lend a helping hand to someone, you're helping yourself. Isn't that kind of cool? There's nothing to lose when you give something to someone else. You haven't lost anything. You just gave to your own self. Such a sweet teaching. If everyone lived like that, don't you think this would be a golden age? Imagine a country run by an enlightened being. Do you imagine that being who sees everyone as himself? No one is higher than another. It'd be good if they hired a wandering monk to become the president of the United States. Because see, that wandering monk has nothing to lose. He doesn't even want anyone's money. He wants to help everyone to uplift the wholeness. I want everyone to be happy and feel free and feel welcome in this country. That's why originally they created the Statue of Liberty. I think the French gave it to the US, right? 1770s or something like that, or 1800, I don't know exactly when it was, 1800s. And it says on there, even come, all of people who are suffering and poor, you're welcome into our country. We will hold you and we will embrace you and love you. I don't know if it says because you're our own self, but I mean, that would be an added on. That might be a little bit too woo-woo. But you start off with just helping your neighbors who are hurting, bring them in, hold them, take care of them, uplift them. That gets you closer to God. Statue of Liberty, what a great teaching. So when I left everything, but just before that, I'd been running a financial planning firm for 12 years. And after I had that conversation with Swami Purna, I went home to Austin, Texas, and proceeded to have a little garage sale in my room. And I gave away the majority of my stuff, my nice business clothes, my nice attire. I had some nice shoes and ties and shirts, Now I just have a piece of cloth, and then I sold my car, sold my business, and bought a van and put a bed in the van, and then set off on the road and just started traveling from city to city. And that was 13 years ago. So the real teaching that I want to share with people is not words. It's the frequency, the energy, the transmission. We just chanted Ruka Dakucha. The teachings are in there. Ruka Dakucha, the Holy Spirit. You activate the Holy Spirit in the room. That's how you create a temple, a holy place, when you chant those kind of words. They're empowered. Mantra is a power word. When you say it, it's like an explosion of energy. So his main teachings might have been mantras. And I love the concept because they're so easy, so simple. And you get to sing together. Even people who don't have very good voices can still sing. No problem, because that's not the point, you see? The point is, as we're all chanting together, we're trying to connect to the spiritual frequency that the power word is holding underneath it. And if you can tune in, touch into that feeling, it draws you into meditation. And that's when you let go of the mantra, the word, and dive into the meditation. Let it take you over. Let the Holy Spirit take you over. Forget about singing at that point. You want to try to merge with the infinite. That's the nature of the Holy Spirit. It's an aspect of God, the divine mother, who is everywhere and in everything, in the chairs, in the air, in the iPhone, in your very thoughts. That is all made of the Holy Spirit. How come we aren't jumping for joy because she's here? Well, I suppose because many of us don't even think that that exists. Don't even believe it. That's possible for us to divinize ourselves, to divinize our body, our mind, our emotions, to merge with the one. I'm telling you, that's completely possible. And when you reach there, when you are merged with that consciousness, you won't see any problems in the world anymore. You will see perfection. You will have no more complaints and no more judgments. And when you turn on the news, you won't be complaining about politicians. You'll be praying for them. That will be the difference. And then when you open up social media, instead of seeing all the complaints and all the sort of polarities and arguments around politics, you'll see prayers written out on social media, messages of peace and love and joy, sending it out to the world, including the politicians, even the most corrupt. That would change the world. Not fighting, not war.
not arguing. So now, after 13 years, Brian has really transformed, completely different person than 13 years ago. And I think it's just because I decided to make God as my priority instead of just Sunday service, it's everyday service. So as I'm driving here to the Unity of Billings, I'm thinking, everything is God. Everything is God. The car, the honking horns, the policemen, whatever I see, I'm trying to remember it. It's not just when I get to Sunday service, then I'll try hard to remember God. We tend to do that. Like, why can't life itself be a flow of divinity? And it takes that. So our mind is like a monkey. In India, there are monkey hunters. They capture monkeys. And you know how easy it is to capture a monkey? All you do, you want a secret to catching a monkey? I'll tell you how it works. You get this thin vase, you fill it with chickpeas. You know what I'm talking about? Chickpeas, what are? You know what those are? Chickpeas like a special kind of bean. They love chickpeas. You fill the jar with chickpeas and you make it really narrow. You tie the jar to a tree and you just wait. Yeah, you wait. And the monkeys smells the chickpeas. What do you think he does? He stuffs his hand into that jar and he reaches out and he captures the chickpeas and he starts pulling. Well, as he's pulling, he's thinking, oh my God, I can't get my fist out. My hand won't come out. Help, help. He's calling his monkey friends. He can't get out. Because the vase, the center of the vase is so thin that when he makes his fist won't come out. So how does the monkey get out of the trap? You just spoke the secret of spirituality. Just let go. You just taught yourself the whole path. That's the whole path. That's the whole path. Really, that's the whole path. That's it. Just let go of the desires for the world that's locked us into the matrix. It's that simple. Let go of the chickpeas, which is, he represents greed, really. I want those chickpeas. I can't let them go. So we get, the spirit gets caught in a body and says, ooh, so many delightful things from this body and this earth. I want more. I have a big bucket list. 10 things I want to achieve. You heard of bucket list, right? Yeah. I want all these things. And so we want and we want and we want a never-ending fountain of want. That's how we get trapped. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, identifying with an individual entity that wants something. Once we let go of those wants, the soul is freed. One reaches divinity, merging with the Godhead, and no more need to come down onto earth to continue on with that, what you call suffering train. You're done. The game is up. You've just freed your soul, like freeing a caged bird that flies into the sky. How does that bird feel? They're free to do anything now. That's the spiritual path, freedom. So I just wanted to wish you all many blessings on your spiritual journey. And I wanted to also thank Robin for inviting me to speak and play a little bit of music I'm honored to present. And thank you all. Namaste.
Namaste.
How wonderful. Thank you so much for coming to visit us, Brian. That is wonderful.